This is Marvel News. I'm actually going live right now because I don't know what is actually going to go down with this, but it seems like it is a pretty serious outage. They are actually talking about a worldwide outage right now with CrowdStrike, and because of it, they're saying that 911 systems are down. This is global, that it is across the world, that it is affecting airlines, it is affecting banks. As far as I don't know it's a Friday today, so I'm sure that there's a lot of you guys that a lot of things are going through your brain. And to be on the cautious side, I was going to go live right now instead of wait until later when all of this could possibly be down. Now, I'm hoping that this ends up being absolutely nothing and that they fix it with a patch. But it's absolutely crazy when you actually look right now of what is going on with all of this. It is now trending. It is the top 5 on X, and you're actually seeing just a ton of information coming out. Who owns CrowdStrike, which is a huge thing right now. Everybody is talking about. I actually found out about this because Gem posted in our mod chat. I just happened to see it, and then once I looked, it was absolutely it's everywhere. I mean, this is a global outage. So it is affecting all sorts of things, and I'm really, really hoping that this isn't that Friday that we are all worried about. Again, let me just share some of the things that are out here so far. And I apologize. I'm going. It's dark. Everybody else is asleep still at 6 a.m. This is normally when I get up. So let me pop in here real quick. Global IT. Yeah, this is insane. So, first of all, it is CrowdStrike, again, that is out. A huge IT outage is affecting banks, travel, supermarkets, media, payment, transactions, telecommunications. So this is a massive, massive outage. And I'm hoping that this doesn't spread, that there isn't other outages coming. But again, that's why I wanted to go early and make sure that we got this out. I actually tried contacting a couple people, and I'm sure it's just a side thing, but everybody is, it seems like there are some issues with my phone personally, but I always have issues with my phone. So tried even getting a hold of Dex, and I could not this morning. So again, they say,
and who is they? And what is that? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Bob. Me, your griot, here to tell you a story. So I don't know. I would say, from my experience in my life, every 18 months, things totally change in a Mandela effect kind of way. So, I'm having breakfast here. I just had it. And let's see. What else am I going to play here? Oh, this young lady.
So I think they have essentially said that this will be the only way to prove you have legal identity. And so if you don't participate in that system as far as the state or the private sector is concerned, you don't exist. So by not participating in that system, you're inherently excluded from the economic system and really essentially everything. It's going to be a problem reaction solution type of situation where they've already made the solution. They've already developed what they want to be the new financial governance system after this new Bretton Woods moment. They just need some sort of big event on the scale of World War II or some large event that's equally disruptive in order to be like, all right, now it's time for a new financial governance system.
About a year ago, while speaking at the Global Finance Summit in Paris, French President Emmanuel Macron said the world needs a public financial shock to fight global warming. Around the same time, World Economic Forum founder and executive chairman Klaus Schwab also made a similar statement about revamping the global economy. In his words, every country from the United States to China must participate, and every industry from oil and gas to tech must be transformed. We need a great reset of capitalism, Schwab added in an article published on the non governmental organization's website. According to popular investigative journalist Whitney Webb, what we are witnessing is the birth of a new international monetary system, a replacement for the current Bretton Woods system built solely on the blockchain to aid the complete surveillance and censorship of every aspect of our lives. Whitney's warnings are based on the words of several global elites and WEF puppets like Macron, as well as the words of Mark Carney, former governor of the Bank of England and Bank of Canada, and the UN Special Envoy for Climate Action and Finance, who said the three pillars of the New World Order are digital IDs, CBDCs, and ESG. In a recent discussion with Mark Goodwin, writer and editor-in-chief at Bitcoin Magazine, Whitney warns that all world governments are pushing this New World Order agenda, proudly sponsored by the ultra-rich and powerful, including Silicon Valley executives like Larry Fink, who wants to tokenize all existing assets and commodities, as well as the natural world. Whitney warns that from forests to rivers, mountains, and lakes, everything will soon become a commodity, owned and traded by the super rich and powerful to make them even stronger and move them closer to their goal of completely dominating the rest of us. During the conversation with Goodwin, Whitney discusses two important parts of the New World Order plans: digital IDs and natural world tokenization, warning that Schwab, Fink, and useful puppets like Macron are on the verge of achieving their grand plans, and how disastrous that would be for us all. As we bring you clips from the video, please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Everything you do helps with the YouTube algorithm and immensely contributes to the channel's growth. Thank you, and enjoy the video.
In this context, I think the digital ID is a key enabler of the surveillance, knowing what everyone is doing at the transactional level and being able to tweak that micromanagement based on a person's activity, because the digital ID isn't just limited to the financial system, right? It's like your travel, your health history, your career history, your education credentials, your access to telecommunications, social media, the internet. With the new AI era, right, they can fuse all the data, analyze it, and depending on how they develop that AI algorithm, use it to control people really in unprecedented ways. I think the digital ID and the CBDC and its private sector equivalence project is something that we're always sort of intended to be the same system. So there's documents from the UN, from the BIS, and related groups that are sort of that have been working on this for years, that essentially frame one as essential to the other. Using words about, this is inclusionary, the whole, I guess, marketing behind digital ID is that everyone needs a legal ID because otherwise they're unable to access essential services. Right. And so the idea is we all have to be included in the system, and they directly link that to the concept of financial inclusion and banking the unbanked, which you brought up earlier. But inherently, these systems actually function in an exclusionary way, based on how they've been set up. They have essentially said that this is the only way, this will be the only way to prove you have legal identity. And so if you don't participate in that system, as far as the state or the private sector is concerned, you don't exist. So by not participating in that system, you're inherently excluded from the economic system and really essentially everything. So you on board to the surveillance state or be excluded from everything. So it's being marketed as inclusion, but it's really inherently exclusionary.
How does this system get triggered? How do we move into the Mark Carney-ism?
Well, I think they sort of give it away when they say that this is the new Bretton Woods movement that needs to be seized. So Bretton Woods was what came out of World War II, essentially, and was the creation of a new financial governance system after World War II. And this is essentially an effort to create a new financial governance system that was announced well before any sort of crisis like that, but it's probably going to need a crisis of that level to be implemented and to convince people to onboard at scale. And if you subscribe to the theory that all wars are bankers' wars, which there is plenty of evidence to support that, I would say, that seems to suggest that perhaps, this is the it's going to be a problem reaction solution type of situation where they've already made the solution. They've already developed what they want to be the new financial governance system after this new Bretton Woods moment. They just need some sort of big event on the scale of World War II or some large event that's, equally disruptive.
Well, that gives you a good idea of where it's going. Hey there, Fish. So, what do you think about that, Fish? You know, you're in a catbird seat. You know, uh, it's you look on the internet today. It's still there. I don't know how much longer it's going to be there. I'm going to go get some gas in my car and get some cash. But I don't know what to say except so I was. The name of the show is 18 months. So all my life, I've done things in 18-month spurts. I'm looking at it, and sometimes those 18-month spurts back up. Like I was married to my first wife. On the books wife for 8 years. So that was 18 months, 18 months, 18 months. And things changed in those things. We did different things. It was like those were like different periods in that. And the other relationships I had lasted 18 months and then another 18 months. And I had 5 other wives, but they weren't the books. And because those women were had their own careers, had their own money, had their own life, they just liked me being in it. And then their life would catch up to them, and because we were, even though we were together, we were separate, and even though I was there to help them through whatever that was, it would change the modality of the relationship. And we stayed buds. We like best. We were like buds with benefits, and a few others. And in my life, it does go in 18-month spurts, right? So being with John was like 18 months, right? And and I have a lot of skill sets, and so I've had a lot of careers, and they were also in like 18-month spurts, and so and they would again be, so I was an electrician for 50 years, like 18-month spurts, right? And all the different other careers I had, same thing, photojournalist, itinerant scholar. I never had that job that I was there for like 30 years and then they gave me the watch. I was always the consultant, the guy on we need this guy for now, but we'll get rid of him when we don't, right? And he knows that and everything that. We're paying him good and he's happy with that. And I was. Right? So here I am out in the deep woods now for the last, got here about 2018. I mean, I can stay, right? And still there were 18-month spurts, right? So, from, when Donnie Chump was getting in, I was in Roanoke, and I was involved in lots of different social things. And the thing about Roanoke, nothing changes. And it's always the usual suspects. And it's the smart people who get out, and go do something else. So all my good friends who've gotten out and went and did other things are doing much better. So and folks who have stayed there, who have great talent, but they stay there, and so they get stuck in that fly paper, right? And so that girl was describing what's coming next, and has guys like David Icke have been talking about this forever. Even General Eisenhower, when he gave that speech about the military-industrial complex, he was talking about the same thing. He just didn't go any, he just said military-industrial complex. He didn't just define it, like meaning he had to add banks and universities and the media and all the rest, which it was already doing that. So, and I've been part of that my whole life, been around it. I went to schools with the richest kids on the planet, not being one. And I could have jumped in there. I could have been like, JD, what's his name? The guy who's going to be vice president. I mean, I could have been that guy, or the other guy who ended up dead in a cell block, for being the pilot of Lolita Express, that guy, and all those other that guys. So I much rather being the itinerant scholar, the electrician, the healer, the mystic, all the above, right? In those 18-month spurts. And I'm still up to it, right? And God keeps putting me. And see, that's a real, in Yiddish, there's a word called fey, which means ich, right? And the world is fey, ich, There was God. He's like the superhero, the movie star, and he makes us out of dirt. The first thing we do is disobey, right? And so we get thrown out of the A-lister club, and the kids start killing each other, right? And from getting thrown out of the A-lister club all the way up to Exodus, basically there were no rules, so everyone just went hog wild, And when God got upset with everything, he told this one family, go build a ark and put everybody 2 by 2 in there. And he floods the world and kills everybody, and then they dry up. They land on top of a mountain, let go of the animals, and then they start over. And what does Noah do? But get drunk. The whole family gets drunk, and he has sex with his daughters. We're just reprehensible. At least we're fat. We're ick. And we're always told that in every religion. You're terrible. You're a sinner. You're a loser. You're all the above. And or you are incredible. You are exceptional. You are no. We are. It's love's co-creation. And when we realize this and we, co-create with God, it's unbelievable, right? So, see, the sun came out. People go, it's going to be a terrible day today. No, it's just foggy. It's in the mountains. Although it's going to get cooler. We've been in the 90s here for almost a month, since the last week in June, middle of June, we've been in the 90s. And the UV just, everybody looks like burnt hot dogs around here because they don't do what I do. Nice big brimmed hat, long sleeve shirt, cover myself up with sunblock. Anyway, so, and all of this is manufactured. It's not. And so Breckin Woods, what was Breckin Woods? After World War II, we had a new economic system based on globalism, basically. America is the only one who didn't get bombed. We had a means of production. We had a military everywhere. And we were the policemen. But no, we were just the merchant policemen, right? And then we maximized that extraction of wealth. And then we let, like in Africa, all those countries, you now have freedom, it's a democracy, as long as you put in the most criminal entity as your president, and we own them and they own you, and that's good. Mm-hmm. So that's where we are right now. And so we're going to have another. So we're so dependent on our convenience that that's all. We don't need another 9/11. We just need a bump in our convenience, and everyone will go running to what that girl was talking about. Everyone being on blockchain, and everyone based. I mean, we already owned 1972 when we left the gold standard. I mean, that's why Nixon was taken out, because he had to go along with it with Mr. What's his name? Mr. Big Banker, the man who owns everything. And not Rockefeller. Rockefeller's the chump change guy. The other guy who owns everything. And J.P. Morgan is just a poster boy. No. Jamie Dimon. No. It's that French German Nazi guy. What's his name? Not Klaus Globs. No, not him either. Mr. The family, the banking family. From when the Spanish Navy was sunk. Anyway, the sun's coming out. It's gonna get toasty in this seat. I have things to go do. I'll try and come back later in the afternoon if the internet still exists. You know. And how about that Republican convention? And you know, the thing with the Democrats, it's like, oh my God, you know, Donald Trump's going to win. Not really. What's going to happen is JoJo's going to, you know, declare martial law from his basement. Right? So, good luck with all of this. See you later.